you know, Game 7's, the sort of conventional wisdom is that the referees are going to allow players to play and maybe call it a little more loosely than they might normally. What are you expecting tonight from the refs?
Well, I'm hoping that continues, because normally in a Game 7, the officials try to stay out of the way. They don't never want the game to become about them, and they really let the players decide it out on the court. So there is a little bit more physicality that's allowed in a Game 7. You know, whether they try to blow the whistle early tonight, I hope they don't. I really do hope that the officials stay out of the way and let the players handle and settle their business out on the floor.
Yeah, I agree with Isaiah. I mean, I think Game 7, obviously the officials don't want it to come down to them dictating the game. I think what I hope for, which I didn't see both ways in Game 6, was just consistency, you know, and obviously it's human error at times and it's not an exact science, but, you know, just being consistent with the officiating for both teams, I think would be ideal. And let the players decide. We're all fans here. We got two great teams, a great matchup. Let the players on the court decide the outcome.
I'm with Isaiah and Grant. I think you're a little bit more physical. I just think now in this league, what we have to watch out for is how do they call the fouls off the ball?
Right.
On the ball, you got to call it whether it's a foul or not. But when you start talking about off the ball, there's a foul off the ball every trip down.
Every trip.
So whether you call that or not, and what consistency, like you said, Grant, is going to determine how these teams play, because freedom of movement with the Warriors guys, they don't have the basketball a lot. They're scorers. Clay and Steph are kind of running off screens where there's Kyrie and LeBron with the basketball. So it's going to be interesting how you call it off the ball.
And freedom of movement has been an emphasis for the league the last few years. Obviously, Steph Curry's running baseline off the ball and he's getting grabbed or bumped by somebody.
That's if you're a Warriors fan.
Yeah, no, I'm saying
that. If you're not, you're saying he's flopping.
Exactly, yeah. But that's a problem for them offensively if he's getting knocked off the baseline. Meanwhile, the other team obviously has a complaint of its own, and that's LeBron James taking less than half the free throws through 6 games that he did last year.
I mean, it is. I mean, I think he has a case. This is not me being one-sided. LeBron James drives the basketball so much. He should have more than averaging around 5 free throw attempts. That number has picked up a little bit lately. He's knocking down his jump shot, but the ball in his hand so much. He does a good job of keeping his composure. I think as a superstar, if I'm LeBron James, and I've seen most of them, you send a message early in Game 1, I might have threw my ball or kicked the ball somewhere just to get the referees to understand I am getting grabbed.
You would have done a Steph Curry?
Yeah, early. but early.
But this is when it becomes difficult for the officials, because a guy like LeBron, who's 6'8", 250, you know, what's contact for him as opposed to what's contact for, you know, a Steph Curry who's a smaller person. So traditionally what normally happens in this league is that the big guy gets hit harder and more often. We've seen how what we call Hacker Shaq was really beat Shaq, you know, because the way they used to foul Shaq, you know, it took great temperament for him to control himself and really not go back. So when you talk about holding off the ball or touching off the ball, the bigger guys like a LeBron James, he's getting held, he's getting touched with the same physical contact that a Curry is. So it'll be interesting if they call off-the-ball contact for Curry. Do they call off-the-ball contact for James in Cleveland?
Well, even at the rim, when he drives, so many defenders just bounce off LeBron.
Without a doubt, and that's because he's so big and strong. But conversely, it's interesting with the little guys. I mean, I think of Steph Curry, you think of Kyrie Irving, you think of Allen Iverson, another guy who was little, who attacked and got to the line. You know, and so I think, no offense, but the little guys sometimes, because they're little and they go in there, and if they get hit, they absorb the contact, and maybe the officials see that and give them an advantage.
Watch your back, Chief. Watch your back.
Well, when I played, when the little guy went in there, it was play at your own risk, because the referee was like, well, you shouldn't be down here anyway, so you going to take the punishment. And that's why the little guy, when you went in, they said, oh, you had great courage because you weren't getting the foul. I wasn't going to the line 10 times. You know, so you went in, you took the contact, you took the hit, and the referees and the players were saying, hey, good job, man. You got a lot of nerve going up in there.
Well, how would you play in this freedom of movement era?
Oh, I'd be living at the rim. I really, because you couldn't hand check me, you couldn't touch me, so I wouldn't settle for threes. I would shoot layups the whole game.